Oh, look, a new slave. We surely are not short of Native Americans here.
Who are you?
I am a Totokan who somehow ended up here, and my friend is an Incan sharing a similar fate. What's your story?
Well, it's a long story. When we were foraging and collecting food, a thing appeared on the horizon in the east at night. In the morning, it began to approach us and then stop. There were people inside. They got on the canoe-like things and came to the island. They were wearing something colorful on them, like the people in the south, and covering their bodies. When they first arrived, they came with two banners with signs I didn't know. Then someone, probably their leader, had said something we didn't understand and approached us. Their skin was whiter than us, and he had a metal thing in his hand. He gave it us, and the person cut his hand with it as an accident. He tried to talk with us with his hands and arms. He asked what the scars on our face were. We explained him that there were people trying to capture us as prisoners coming from adjacent islands. We said that the name of this island was Guanaltani. We offered him some parrots, darts, cotton, and they gave us transparent beads and orange metals that make sounds. The visitors became our friends. They took some of us, including me, to their ship. We sailed and we forwarded towards the islands of Lucayan, Taino, and Arawak peoples. People started to swim and came by canoes to ship and wanted to trade goods. People begged them to come ashore. They cried and shouted them as if they were coming from heaven. However, the leaders I caught the gold and silver belongings of the people. He asked where the gold was. They told him the king in the south with lots of gold. They started to sail towards the south. I understood that they came here from far away for gold and spices, but I didn't understand why gold was important for them. They reached the Cuba that I had just heard about has never been present before. They entered some villages to ask for gold, but most of them were abandoned because people were afraid of them, even though I didn't see them doing something bad to people. Some of these people also wore clothes on themselves like the guests. Then they sailed to another island where people called island Haiti. When we arrived here, one of the three ships was sunk, and people came to this ship and the other. The other ship left us, and the leader left some people in the island, in which there was a person who tried to communicate with us, although we didn't understand him. After some days, the other ship came to us. In a bay of the island, the leader wanted to trade a tool that can throw sharp sticks, with the native people called Siguayos. However, they refused and tried to attack them. One of the people was injured with the sharp stick and one with the sharp metal. After the conflict, since the journey became dangerous, we told the leader about the cannibal people and the island with just women in the south. And the journey to the East Ocean started. We encountered a very big storm and lost the sight of the other ship. Then we arrived to an island. The white people that seemed against the other white people took us as prisoners. However, the leader of the ship was not there. After some days, they released us, and then with the same ship, we sailed towards the place where the crew says home or Spain. The leader showed us to a man and a woman who looked even fancier than the leader. There was a lot of gold everywhere, which was the time, I understand, they were trying to exploit our gold in my motherland. That's my story. What about you?
I am a Totokan from the beautiful city of St. Paul. We had been living under the cruel rule of Moctezuma, Emperor of Aztecs. They were not only constantly asking for a suffocating amount of taxes, they also regularly kidnapped our loved ones to sacrifice them to their gods. One day, about 600 men came from the sea. They were telling us about a just king from a place called Spain. Their aim was to govern our lands in the name of their king. They were willing to replace the Aztecs. Their canoes were much bigger than any other one I have ever seen before. They had shiny, intimidating helmets and armor. Their skin was white and faces were hairy. They were on top of otherworldly beasts they called horses. Our leader visited their leader Cortes and gave him many gifts. He told Cortes about how we refused to pay tribute to Aztecs and how much we hate being under the oppression. And this started an alliance between Totocans and Spaniards. We helped them build a stronghold close to one of our cities, St. Paul. Our city houses about 50,000 warriors and consists of about 50 towns. The fortress was located in a close and strategic position. We vowed them to be vassals of the Spanish king. After a while, we watched them deliberately opening holes in their ships to sink them. They were not willing to go back. 300 of us agreed to escort him to assist their campaign. Along the way, we introduced him to possible other allies from other tribes like Tlaxcaltecans and warned him against the ones that were in favor of Aztec rule. On many occasions, he survived thanks to our advice. Because of this, I think, he was becoming to see us more trustworthy. We brutally attacked many villages who put up any resistance against us and joined our forces with those willing to help. We were steadily marching towards the ruling city of Aztecs. One day, we learned that there was another Spaniard coming to attack our city St. Paul. After informing Cortes about this, I understood that there was a fierce competition between them as to who would get to govern us. It was said that this man was named Narvaez, and he was planning to attack us to weaken our help to Cortes. This way, he was hoping to stop the expedition. Our city, being informed beforehand, was already evacuated, leaving behind the warriors. Thankfully, Cortes saw helping us save our city as something beneficial. A group consisting of many different indigenous groups and Spaniards attacked the forces of Narvaez in the evening. As a result, our city was liberated from their purge and Narvaez was taken hostage. We were very thankful to Cortes, and from this point onward, we helped him with everything we had. After almost a year of bloody clashes and political conflicts, Cortes seized Moctezuma and became the ruler of the land. Unlike many other indigenous groups, he let us have a leader of our own, to rule our province as vassals of the Spanish king. In the end, we were liberated by Cortes. And my friend here has a different story.
Welcome to our home in the heart of the Incan Empire. My name is Tupac and I am an Incan farmer. Let me tell you a day in my life. I am living in the most magnificent civilization of my time. We get up with the sun. The sun god Inti is central of our lives. Inti provides warmth and light for our crops. My family and I start our day by praying for Inti. I am praying to be blessed with a fertile harvest. We are farmers, working in the terraced fields which were created by our ancestors in the mountains. These fields allow us to grow maize, potatoes, and quinoa. With advanced irrigation systems, we can ensure our crops receive enough water, which is important for a good harvest. While I work in the farm fields, my wife and children are busy too. The women are weaving beautiful textiles from alpaca and llama wool. They are knitting clothes and blankets. Our children learn these skills early, helping their moms to where they can prepare for their future roles in our civilization. Once a week, we visit the marketplace to trade for our goods. In the marketplace, we exchange crops for items that we cannot produce, such as fine pottery, crafting tools, and other things. The marketplace is also a social environment where we learn recent news. Religion is important in our lives. We gather for ceremonies to honor our gods, seeking for their blessing and protection. These rituals are led by priests who represent the will of the gods. We are also skilled builders. We are using flat-cut stones to construct buildings that are resistant to earthquakes. Our engineering knowledge is passed down through generations. Our knowledge allows us to build roads, bridges, and impressive structures like Machu Picchu. At the end of the day, my family and I gather for dinner. We share stories and enjoy the crops of our work. Our diet is rich in the diverse crops that we grow. Also, we don't only eat crops, we eat meats of guinea pigs and llamas. But our peaceful life was disrupted by the arrival of strangers from across the sea, the Spaniards. They came with weapons that we had never seen. They bring disease that spread quickly through our civilization. Many of our people fell ill. Unable to fight off these new illnesses, we witnessed many of them die. The Spaniards, led by Francisco Pizarro, took advantage of our weakened state and the internal conflict within our empire. They captured our emperor, and despite our attempts to rescue him, they executed him. The great Inca Empire collapsed with the Spanish conquest. Now, I stand between the ruins of what was once a great civilization. I cry about the loss of our great civilization. Our traditions, our stories, and our spirit are all lost. The legacy of the Inca Empire lies in the hearts of our descendants. The ruins of our civilization will continue to tell our story.
Whoa, guess I didn't realize how big of an effect Spaniards had on our lives.
It's time to sleep.